Yes, sir. Yes.
Om Vakradunda Mahakaya Surya Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurudevo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastama Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We have seen in the last reading that there are different types of vada discussion. Two types of healthy discussion and two types of unhealthy discussion. Among the healthy discussion, vada and sambada. Sambada is between the teacher and the student, or you can say between the one who knows the subject matter and between the one who knows subject matter and the one who wants to receive the knowledge. So one is a giver, other one is a receiver. So the receiver is a student, then giver is a teacher. If the student wants to know, therefore he has got all the privilege to ask questions and get answers. Even if the answers are not satisfactory, given the benefits of doubt to the teacher and the Shastram, the student has to wait. And over a period of time, his doubts will get cleared. But he has got all the privilege to ask questions and get clarity. So that is question, significance of question. Now we will read. When there is understanding involved, questioning is imperative. Yes. Where there is where understanding is involved. Understanding means knowledge is involved. Knowledge can be gained only by questioning, only by asking, only by clarifying. This doesn't mean you should question all the time. What is meant is that a questioning mind is necessary because without questioning, you can never gain clarity. Samyak jnanam, for clear knowledge. For clear knowledge, clear understanding is required. And clear understanding is not just by swallowing the words or the teaching of the teacher. If there is a belief, then swallowing is involved. This is not a belief, this is a matter of understanding. Self-knowledge, Atma-jnana is a matter of understanding. Therefore, since understanding is required, therefore questioning is all the more important. That's why he said imperative. Therefore, the teaching itself consists of a number of questions. In all the Upanishads and as well as in Gita, we will find the disciple asks questions and the teacher will elaborate. Based on the explanation, again, if the students, if at all, if he has doubts, again, he will ask questions and it will be elaborated. In the Gita, that is how the whole topic is unfolded beautifully. As teachers, we are ourselves raise questions and keep answering them. That's also true. With the class, the teacher, even in the Bhashyam, Shankaracharya himself raises questions as a Purva Pakshi himself, as an opponent, Purva Pakshi raises questions and answers them. Even if the student doesn't ask, the teacher himself raises the questions and answers them. The student may not ask or may miss the point, therefore, to make him understand, to gain clarity, Sampradaya, you will find the teachers themselves ask questions and answer them. If the student still asks questions, he or she should ask those questions in order to know, since we are not dealing with simple beliefs here. Where belief is involved, there no questioning is allowed. Where understanding is involved, there only questioning is allowed. Therefore, and if we find something is a belief, we can say this is a belief, thereby ending the subject matter. So, being a pramanam, Shastram being a pramanam, since it involves knowledge, therefore questioning is permitted. In theology, you cannot ask questions, but in knowledge, you can ask questions. Any jnana, any knowledge, in fact, you can ask questions. Even in science also, it is not a belief. It is a matter to be understood. And here, it's all the more it is about yourself. Since ajnanam is involved, therefore, jnanam is required, clarity is required. Therefore, the student has got all the privilege to ask questions. We don't try to establish a belief beyond establishing that it is a belief. It is not a belief, it is beyond that. It is more than that. It's not a belief. More than that means it is not to be believed. It is a truth. Initially, you may believe, and later, when you understand, you that becomes a truth. You understand the truth. Initially, always we need to have some shraddha, some belief. That's what we say in shraddha, pending understanding. Initially, you give the benefit of doubt to the shastra and the teacher. You have to need to have shraddha, loosely translated as belief or faith. Without that, you cannot approach the shastra or approach the teacher. The one who doesn't have shraddha in the teacher or the shastra, he will not come to the teacher at all. He will not come to shastra at all. He is now thereby is prevented from getting exposed to the pramana. So one needs to have the initial, the belief or belief or faith or whatever we call shraddha, we call in Sanskrit shraddha. Later shraddha becomes a reality. So we don't try to establish a belief beyond establishing that it is a belief. For example, the statement "this is my mother" is a belief because there is no way of proving it. How do you know two babies were not switched in the hospital? There may be a lot of corroborative evidence even, but still it is a belief. It is not direct perception. There are many beliefs and there is nothing wrong with beliefs. As long as we understand them as beliefs, there is nothing wrong with beliefs. There are many beliefs. However, there are also many things we have to know. And where we have to know, questions are very important and are allowed. Gita was presented as a dialogue, sambhada between a teacher and a student, between Guru Shishya Sambhada, Krishna Arjuna Yoga, Sambhade, iti. We chant every chapter, at the end of every chapter. So between a teacher and a student, to emphasize that the subject matter is one for understanding, not for believing. Then, commentaries on the Gita, Bhashyam. Shankaracharya says that he is writing this commentary on the Gita so that people could analyze and understand what the true meaning of the Gita Shastra is, although it had been already so elaborately commented upon by others. So, yeah, Swamiji says that on Gita, there are commentaries available before. Even though available, still Shankaracharya writes commentary on that. Why? The reason is given. These earlier commentaries, no matter how definitive they were, sometimes differed from one another, and in some cases were even opposed to each other. Since these various works are confusing to those who did not have a clear understanding of the Shastra, Shankaracharya therefore decided to undertake this work in order to clarify what Gita is actually saying. In fact, even before we have seen Tadidam Gita Shastram, Sarva Vedanta, Sara Sangarha Bhutam, Durvijnayam, before even we have read this, that the subject matter what it unfolds is very difficult to understand. Therefore, even though the earlier commentaries were available, since those were confusing and contradictory, therefore, to make it more clear, Shankaracharya had decided to take up this work of commenting. Since Shankaracharya's time, there have been numerous commentaries and translations in various languages with varying degrees of clarity. None has matched Shankaracharya's analysis of the Gita. His commentary is extremely cogent and consistent from the beginning to the end. For instance, whenever the topic of bhakti comes up, he discusses it in its proper context. Wherever Ishvara is mentioned, even though Lord Krishna uses the first person singular, Shankara Acharya makes it very clear that what was meant was the Lord, Ishvara, Paramatma. When the Gita is analyzed properly, the analysis must be rational. It should not go against the reason. The commentary on the Gita should be in keeping with the words that are there. It should honor all the rules of grammar and syntax. What was said before and what is said later should also be taken into account. All important points. So what is conveyed through Gita, that has to be understood by proper analysis. And the analysis has to be rational. It should not go against logic. It should not contradict other pramana. And it is what the Gita teaches, it's not a belief. So, and also what was said before, Purva and Para, there should be consistency. Bhagavan Krishna or the Vyasacharya who presented the Gita through the mouth of Bhagavan Krishna, he should not contradict what was said before, what was said in the second chapter and what is said in the later chapter, should not contradict. So the topic has to be consistent. That is important. Because there are many books on Gita available, and English translations are available, and there are books with the name Gita as it is. But really, whether it is as it is, it's to be questioned. Because what was taught by Krishna is to be understood, is to be analyzed properly and understood the proper the proper background, with the proper the background or the vision of the Shastra. Tatparya, the vision is important. Keeping in mind the vision what the Shastra unfolds. With that as the background, one has to approach Gita, understand Gita, interpret Gita. That is what a Sampradaya does. Gita being a moksha shastram, it should not contradict with Upanishads, not contradict with what Dharma Sutra. That's why it is what Prasthanatraya. So therefore, Gita has to be interpreted in keeping with the vision of the Shruti. If the vision of Gita is different from that of the Shruti, then Shakracharya would not have commented upon that. And there are many commentaries, as I said before, which claim that the Gita, the vision of Gita, or the teaching of Gita is entirely different than that of the Veda. And some people interpret it the modern new Vedantic way. That is all. One has to be carefully understood and dismissed. Should not be taken considered as the pramanam or the right way to understand the Gita. That is why Sampradaya is important. Sampradaya, the teaching in the Sampradaya cannot be or cannot be altered by anybody in the group, any Acharya in the group. Teaching means that only one, the teaching being the truth, that cannot be modified or altered by any Acharya in the Sampradaya. No one can change the vision, the Shastra. Keeping in mind the vision, the Shastra has to be unfolded. That is there, then any commentary on Gita can be accepted as a proper one. That is why I said when we do analysis, it should be rational. It should be rational. It should be in keeping with our logical reasoning. What Gita says, if it contradicts our logical reasoning, then the Gita also should not be accepted. If at all there are statements in Gita, then the statements have to be interpreted in the proper light. That is a job of the commentators. That is why Shankaracharya, he took up the task of commenting on the Gita. The need for inquiry. Inquiry meaning vichara. Why vichara is required? Inquiry is required for understanding, for better understanding, for clarity. Since the Gita is a book that contains only what is said in the Upanishads, this we know very well. That is why it's called Gita. This is all the more reason for any commentary on it to be reasonable. Yes, this is what we said just now. Nothing should contradict the source truth. Gita should not contradict the vision of the Shruti. So, whatever whatever unfolded, whatever the vision, the truth unfolded by the Shruti, that alone should Gita also should emphasize. Our understanding of the Gita should definitely be in keeping with all these various factors. Only then can there be a real understanding. Whether the Gita says this or that is something that must be understood. We are not trying to make the Gita say what we want to say. We are trying to understand what it says, and for this reason, we need to inquire and be objective. Very important. So we are not trying to make the Gita say what we intend to say. We don't trust our objective, personal objective, or any objective on Gita. We're trying to understand what the Gita says in the light of the Shruti. This is why before approaching the Gita, a few verses called Gita Dhyana Shloka are sung in praise of it, whereby we invoke the Mother Gita to reveal the truth contained in the Gita Shastra. These verses are a prayer to Gita herself, to the Gita as the mother, Shruti. Shruti is looked upon as mother. Vedas are looked upon as the mother. Because like a mother, Vedas are interested in the welfare of humanity, therefore looked upon as a mother. And Gita also, since unfold the same teaching, therefore Gita also looked upon as a mother, as the mother Shruti, and to the Gita as Bhagavan the Lord. It is only after we have invoked the Gita in this way do we try to extract the meaning of what the Gita has to say. Gita is like a mirror, just as the Upanishads are a mirror of words wherein we can see ourselves very clearly. The words of the Upanishad, in fact, Upanishads are nothing but the autobiography of ourselves. Everyone can say it is autobiography of myself, my own autobiography of who I am. Who I am means that truth of what I am, the nature, the truth, the reality of what I am. That is what the Upanishads unfold. Therefore, it is our own autobiography. Therefore, Gita is like a darpan, like a mirror. Like a mirror. In a mirror, you can see your reflection very clearly. Similarly, to Gita study, you can see yourself. You can have the vision of yourself. You can know the reality of yourself. If the world is not separate from me, and if Ishvara is also not separate from me, then I should be able to see this truth in the words of the Gita. The prayer is for the sake of understanding Gita properly, which is understanding myself. Understanding Gita is for the sake of understanding myself. In the brief discussion of Gita Dhyana verses that follow, you will come across sentences requiring further elucidation and more clarity in order for you to enjoy the meaning completely. This clarity will come as the Gita is unfolded. The next to come, the Dhyanam, Gita Dhyana Shloka. We will read. Please chant with me. Shloka number 1. Om Parthaya Pratibodhikam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam. Please chant.
Om Hadaya Pradibodhidham Bhagavata Narayane Swayam
Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam.
व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम्
अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनी
अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवती अष्टादशाध्यायिनी
त्वामनुसन्ततामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी
अम्ब त्वामनुसन्ददामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी
See the meaning of the verse and the meaning total. Om. Om is the name of the Bhagavan. Avati Rakshati iti Om. Omkaraha. Om is the name of the Lord. Now we have to arrange the words to understand this. Parthaya, to Partha. Partha is the son of Pratha, the Kunti. Partha, to him, Pratibodhita, revealed or was taught. By whom? By Bhagavata Narayanena, Swayam, by Lord himself. Bhagavata Narayanena, Parthaya Pratibodhitam, Gitam. Parthaya Gitam Pratibodhitam. Gita written by whom? Vyasena Gratitam. Gratitam, Vyasacharya is the Rachanakarta, is the author of the Gita. Gratitam. Purana Munina is a Purana Muni. Purana means old, ancient. Muni is sage. So Purana Muni is ancient sage. That is one meaning. Or Vyasacharya, he had authored many Puranas. Ashtadasha Puranani. Therefore also he is called Purana Muni, because he has authored many Puranas like Purma Purana, Varaha Purana, Bhavishyat Purana, many Puranas. Therefore he is called Purana Muni. And where the Gita is located? Madhye Mahabharata. In the middle of the Mahabharata, it is located. Therefore, the word Gratitam, Swami has given incorporated. The whole Mahabharata written by Vyasacharya. In that, Vyasacharya has incorporated the Gita in the middle of the Mahabharatam, Madhye Mahabharatam. So Mahabharata has got 100,000 slokas. And in the middle of the Mahabharata, Gita is there. The whole Mahabharata written by Vyasacharya. What of Gita? Gita also written by him. So he is the Rachana Karta, and Gita is incorporated in the middle of the Mahabharata. And the Gita is Advaita Amrita Varshini. Varshini is shower of Amrita, nectar. What is nectar? Which is a nectar? This Advaita. This Advaita Jnana, non-duality. Advaitam, that alone is Amritam. That alone releases a person from samsara, gives moksha, makes him free. Therefore, Gita is the showerer of the nectar of non-duality, that is knowledge, Advaita Jnana. Bhagavati goddess, Ashtadashatyayinam. Gita looked upon as a goddess, and the Gita is one which contains 18 chapters. Ashtadasha Adhyayinim. Adhyaya meaning chapter. 18 chaptered work called Gita. She is goddess, and she is the showerer of Advaita, Amrita Varshini, and it is Pratibodhitam, revealed to whom? Partaya by Bhagavata. Amba, hey Amba. Amba is Sambodhana. Oh mother. Gita is looked upon as mother. Why? Because Gita is interested in the welfare, spiritual welfare of humanity. Therefore, hey Amba, Tvam, Agam Anusandadami, I meditate upon you. Bhagavad Gita, hey Bhagavad Gita, that is also Sambodhana, like Rama Shabda. Gita, Gita. Bhagavad Gita. Rame, Ramaha. Gita, Gitaha. Bhagavad Gita. Bhavadveshini. She Bhava is samsara. Dveshini is destroyer or remover. So Gita is the destroyer of the samsara. Samsara is the life of becoming. So Gita removes samsara. How? Because she is Advaita Amritavarshini. By giving knowledge, because she gives knowledge, therefore she removes samsara. Knowledge removes ajnana. Samsara because of ajnana. So the removal of the ajnanam of samsara is by the knowledge which alone Gita gives. Therefore, Bhavadveshini Gita, Advaita Amritavarshini Gita. Then we read the Om, O Goddess Mother, O Bhagavad Gita. You were taught. We are taught by Bhagavan Narayana himself for the sake of Arjuna, the son of Pritha, Kunti. You who were faithfully collected and reported by the ancient sage Vyasa and placed in the middle of the Mahabharata. You who are in 18 chapters. You who have the nature of showering the nectar of non-duality. Who is the destroyer of the life of becoming. Again and again, repeatedly. Anusandarami, I invoke you. How do you invoke the Gita? A repeated study. A repeated study of the Gita. An auspicious beginning. Yes. Begins with Om, therefore auspicious. No, Om is the name of the Lord, therefore auspicious, taking the name of the Lord at the beginning. Any beginning is considered to be auspicious. Since the word Om is the name of Bhagavan, the Lord, it is an auspicious way to begin the verses in which we invoke the Lord's help as we begin our study of the Gita. The Gita invoked as mother. A mother is a symbol of love, affection, and spontaneous care. Someone who always prays for your welfare, who never lets you down when you are in trouble. This is also true of the Vedas, because with great compassion, the Veda takes into account the need for the human being to achieve various things in life and talks about the various means and ends for the one to achieve them. And finally, through self-knowledge in the Upanishads, gets a person out of the pursuit of means and ends. Therefore, the Veda or the Shruti is given the status of a mother. And because the Gita says exactly what the Veda says, it is also looked upon as a mother. In this opening verse, the Gita is invoked in this way: O mother, I invoke you. I meditate upon you again and again as a mother of blessing. In one place, Shankaracharya says, Veda is equal to thousands of mothers. So Veda has the compassion as that of thousands of mothers. Collectively, how much compassion they have, that much compassion Veda has for human beings. Vedas are they're interested in the welfare of human beings. And since Gita also has the same message as that of the Vedas, therefore Gita also has the same compassion. So by giving you knowledge, it makes you free. You gets the person out of the pursuit of means and ends. The sadhya sadhana, that is, samsara is nothing. The life, samsara, that is, the life of becoming is nothing but pursuit of means and gaining the ends. It is nothing but means and ends. Means and ends. And jnanam is getting out of this means and ends. Freedom is getting out of this means and ends. Because you are the end, and for the means is the Shastra, Vedanta. Gita is a Shastra, Gita is the Pramana. So finally, holding on to the means is Gita, the Pramanam. The end, what you achieve is yourself, after which you don't have anything to achieve in life. Therefore, it puts an end to all the Arthakama, Dharma Arthakama pursuit and gives you freedom, and that is the end. After which, there is no other Purushartha. The end is you. But what is the means? From Shastram is the means. So, therefore, dropping all the other means and ends, sadhana sadhya, completely surrendering to the Shangita, which is a means for the end you to achieve yourself. So therefore, it drops or it makes you get out of all the limited means of the limited ends and makes you achieve that end which is unlimited. That is moksha. That is the meaning. For whose sake is the Gita taught? Gita was taught to Arjuna. Partnaya pratibodhitam bhagavata partaya pratibodhitam Gita. So you have to see the text again. Partaya pratibodhitam vyasena kratitam Purana Munina vyasena vyasena krati madhye Mahabharatam kratitam Advaita Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayinim Tvam Agam Anusandadami. That is the Anvaya. You have to write this shloka in the form of an Anvaya that goes like this. Hey Amba, hey Bhagavad Gita, Agam Anusandadami. Agam Tvam Anusandadami. I meditate on you. And Tvam, for the word Tvam, that is you, all the words are adjective. Agam Tvam. What is Tvam? What is you? Partaya Pradipoditam Tvam. Partaya Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Partaya Pradipoditam Tvam. Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Gratitam Vyasena Gratitam Tvam. Advaita Amritavarshini Tvam. Bhagavatim Tvam. Ashtadashaadhyayinim Tvam. Bhavatveshinim Tvam. Agam Anusandadami. So for the word Tvam, all these words are adjective. Tvam is Ditya Vibhakti Dvivachan, the object of the meditation. What is the object of meditation? Gita. And who is the meditator? Agam Anusandadami Uttama Purusha Ekavachana. Agam Anusandadami. Agam Dhyayami Ityartaha. Agam Tvam Dhyayami. I meditate on you. For the word Tvam, Pratibodhitam, Gratitam, Advaita Amritavarshini, Bhagavatim, Ashtadashaadhyayinim, Bhavadveshinim. All these are adjectives. So for the Pratibodhitam, to the word Pratibodhitam only, all the other words, the first line, the words are connected. Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Partaya Pratibodhitam. So to the Pratibodhitam, this Partha, Bhagavata, Narayana, Swayam, all connected. Similarly, second line, Gratitam is Ditya Vibhakti Ekavachanam. For that, the other words are connected to that word. Purana Munina Vyasena Madhya Mahabharatam Gratitam. Then Advaita Amritavarshini Ditya Vibhakti Ekavachanam. Similarly, other words. This is how the Anvaya to be done for this shloka, and the meaning is given here. So Gita is invoked in this way. O mother, I invoke you. I meditate upon you again and again as a mother of blessing. For whose sake Gita is taught? Gita was taught to Arjuna, Parthaya, Pratibodhitam. He is called Partha in this verse because he is a son of Pratha. Pratha is another name for his mother Kunti. Because the Gita was taught for Arjuna's sake, Arjuna is said to be its cause, Nimitta. Here, Nimitta. Who is the Nimitta? For the Bhagavan Krishna to give the teaching of Gita, Arjuna is a Nimitta. He is a Nimitta, he is a cause. He only asked for the teaching. If he had not asked, then he would not have got Gita. Therefore, Partha is the Nimitta. Therefore, the shloka also says Partha. Yeah, Partha is the Nimitta. Because of him, Bhagavan Krishna taught Gita, and we are also benefited. The teacher of the Gita. Who is the teacher? Bhagavan Krishna. The knowledge contained in the Gita was taught by the Lord Bhagavan Narayana. Krishna is an avatar of Bhagavan Narayana himself. It was not taught by any other guru, but directly by Narayana. Whether we call by the name Narayana or we call Dakshinamurti, they are all same. Those who are the worshippers of Shiva, they call the Adi Guru as Dakshinamurti. Those who worship, those who are Vaishnavas, for them, the Adi Guru is Narayana. So it was taught by, it was not taught by any other guru, but directly by Narayana, by the Lord himself. He is a Lord for whom there is no overlord, there is no Lord. So he is a Lord. It was he who revealed Vedas to the rishis. The same Bhagavan revealed Gita also to Arjuna. That is it. In Narayanena Sakshat Bhagavan Bhagavata Narayanena Eva Narayanena Sakshat Dakshina Murtina Eva. Dakshina Murti himself revealed. There is no difference between Narayana or Dakshina Murti. Shiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. The knowledge which has descended from Shiva, that is Dakshinamurti. This is one shloka is there where we see the teaching come down from the Dakshinamurti down the lineage and Shankaracharya in the middle and down to my Guru and from up to me. Similarly, we have another shloka. Arajanam Patnabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim Jatatputra Parasharam Cha Yasam Shukam Gaura Padam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Athata Shishyam. Iti another shloka is there where Narayanam, from Narayana this teaching has come down. Narayanam Padmabhuvam, from Narayana it has come to Brahmaji. Padmabhuvam Vasishtam, from Brahmaji to Vasishta. Iti, a separate lineage is talked about. It's not separate lineage. It is the same thing only. Whether it has come down from, whether you say it has come down from Dakshinamurti or you say it has come down from Narayana, both are same only. There is no difference. There is no difference. Because there is no difference between Dakshinamurti and Narayana. They are all same only. So, therefore, whether you say Tadashiva Samarambam or you say Narayanam Padmabham Vasishtam Shaktim Chatat Putra Parasharam Cha Vyasam Shakti. There also Vyasam is there. Narayana, from Narayana, the teaching has come down to Brahmaji, from Brahmaji to Vasishta, Vasishta to Shakti, and from Shakti to his son Parashara, from Parashara to Vyasa. So Vyasacharya's father is Parashara. So to Vyasa. And Vyasacharya is the author of Mahabharatam, the Gita also, which is inside Mahabharatam. And Vyasa's son is Shuka, from Shuka to Gaudapada, Gaudapadam Mahantam, Govinda Yogindra Matha Seshishyam, from Gaudapada, who wrote a commentary on Mandukya, much called Mandukya Karika, and he is the teacher of Govinda Yogindra, who is Govinda Bhagatpada. He is the guru of Shankaracharya. So Govinda Yogindra Matha Shishyam, Shri Shankaracharya Matha Se Patnavadam Cha Astamalatam Cha Shishyam, Tantotakam Vartika Karmanyan, Asmat Gurun Santatam Anatosmi iti. So Govinda Bhagavatpada, from him Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya has got 4 disciples: Padmapada, Astamalaka, then Sureshwaracharya, Totaka, iti. From them to my Guru, iti Guru Parampara is talked about, starting from Narayana. Therefore, whether it is Dakshinamurti or Narayana, there is no difference. It is from Bhagavan only. Sakshat is Bhagavan. Bhagaha Asya Asti iti Bhagavan. Bhaga, whether we call it by the name Narayana or we call it by Dakshinamurti, that is not a problem. Therefore, it was taught by Bhagavan. And here Narayana is used. The word Narayana also very interesting to understand, that is going to come, we will see. Even though every guru is considered to be Narayana, this verse makes it very clear that the all-knowing Lord himself as Krishna was the teacher of Gita. Bhagavan is all-knowing. He is Sarvajnaha Sarvavitu. Therefore, this all-knowing Bhagavan, who has come in the form of Krishna, he himself revealed Gita. That is it. So he is a teacher. Then the meaning of the word Narayana. There are many ways of looking at the meaning of the word Narayana, one of which is particularly relevant here. The word Nara is used to refer to a human being. Nara is Manushyaha. It also means indestructible, that which always remains, not destroyed. Na riyate iti naraha, the one who cannot be destroyed, who is indestructible, is called naraha. Nara therefore can, then how can Nara be human being? Human beings are subject to destruction. They are born, they are gone, they die. Therefore, Nara therefore can only refer to that which pervades everything and is timeless, and therefore Atma in Sanskrit. Na riyate iti naraha, that which is not destructible. What is not destructible? Atma alone. Therefore, Nara means Atma. Atma here refers to I, the essence of the subject who performs various actions and enjoys various forms of experiences. This is an entirely different meaning from what we commonly understand by the word I, and that is what the Gita is going to present. Therefore, the real meaning of the word Nara, human being, is to be understood from the Shastram to be the all pervasive and timeless Atma, Paramatma. So, the meaning of the word Nara is Nariyate iti Naraha, that which is not destructible, that which is indestructible is Naraha. It means Atma. Then, Nanasya idam Naram. So, Nara is Atma, Paramatma, Ishvara. That which belongs to the Nara is Nara. Nara is that which belongs to the Nara, that which belongs to Paramatma. This entire Jagat belongs to whom? It has come from Bhagavan. Therefore, it belongs to Paramatma. From Paramatma alone, this Jagat has come. And in him alone, this Jagat is sustained, and unto him alone, this Jagat is resolved. So, therefore, that which belongs to the Nara is called Nara or Jagat, the world. The world is born out of the all-pervasive, timeless Paramatma and is sustained by Paramatma and goes back to the Paramatma. Mayyeva sakalam jatam mai sarvam pratishtitam mai sarvam layam yati. Table Upanishad, it is there. So, from Bhagavan alone it has come, this Jagat. So, therefore, the Jagat is Naram iti. Nara, therefore, is entire Jagat. Nara then is the entire world. Naram eti iti Narayana. Eti means eti avagachati janati. Naram eti. The one who knows this Nara, the world is called Narayana, the Jagat. The Jagat is nothing but the knowledge of the Lord. Therefore, the one who has complete knowledge of the Jagat, that's why we call Sarvajnaha. Who is he? He is Narayana, therefore omniscient, Parameshwara. Sarvajnaha means omniscient. So, Naram means Jagat. Naram eti iti Narayana. The one who has the complete knowledge of the Jagat is called Narayana. As the pot maker has the complete knowledge of how to make a pot, yeah, because he creates pot. Similarly, Bhagavan, he created the Jagat. Therefore, he must know the know-how of creating or know of this. No, he must know the, he must have the knowledge of the Jagat. Therefore, he is called Narayana. And Nara is that which is not subject to destruction, that is Atma. And Jagat is Nara. So Naram eti, Janati, Avakachati iti Narayana. Because this omniscient Narayana is the one who is teaching here, teaching Arjuna here, everything that is taught in the Gita is considered valid because Bhagavan is teaching. That the Pramanam is. Pramanam is with the Bhagavan and Bhagavan operates a Pramana. Therefore, the teaching is valid. Narayana is the one who knows everything, Sarvajnaha, and is also one to be known through Vedanta. Narayana can be understood only through the Upanishad. And who is the author? Vyasa. So, Shrutis do not have any author, but Gita has got author. That is why it is called Smriti. What has been taught by Shruti is remembered by the Smriti. And the author of the Smriti Grantha, the Smriti, that is Mahabharata, this Gita is Vyasacharya. Therefore, Vyasa as a reporter, he reports what Bhagavan had taught to Arjuna, the battlefield, is reported by Vyasacharya. How would we know about the Lord's teaching to Arjuna without Vyasa? Any gospel is a report of a disciple, and therefore its accuracy depends on the disciple. If the disciple is adept, he or she will report properly. If the disciple has limitations, then there will be problems with the report. In the Gita, the reporter is very important. Narayana taught and Arjuna heard. but it was Vyasa who reported it all. The reporter here is not an ordinary person. He is not an ordinary person, as we shall see later in the verse. Vyasacharya, he has compiled the Vedas and he has written 18 Puranas and more other things, and he is the author of Bhagavad Gita, which contains 100,000 shlokas. So he's not an ordinary person. And Vyasa also comes to be an avatara. So Vyasa is the one who is capable of elaborating a brief statement into 1,000 verses, complete with intricate details and cogent arguments. Vyasa is described here as a Purana Muni, an ancient sage. A Muni, a Mananashila, is a person who is capable of bestowing careful thought over a particular subject matter. The Purana can also mean the ancient legends based on the teaching found in the Vedas. Vyasa gathered these legends together and, remaining faithful to the Vedic vision, put them into writing called Puranas. Therefore, he is referred to as Purana Muni. He is author of 18 Puranas. Therefore, it's called Purana Muni. That way also we can interpret Purana Muni, the word. Because the subject that is being taught in the Gita was so well known to him, Vyasa had no problem with reporting it properly. Where did Vyasa report when what was taught by the Lord to Arjuna? He presented the middle of the epic Mahabharata in the Gita in 18 chapters. That's why Ashtadashathyayinim. The subject matter of the Gita. What is the subject matter of the Gita? What did Lord Narayana teach Arjuna? What was taught is described as a shower of Amrita, nectar. Amrita is that drinking which a person becomes immortal. But here, teaching is Amrita, knowing which a person becomes immortal. Not becomes immortal. He recognizes, he understands himself to be that which doesn't have destruction. That is what Amrita is, immortality is. Nectar generally comes only in drops, but in the Gita, nectar is showered upon us. What kind of nectar is it? All nectars are sweet to the taste, but do not last forever. The nectar that is showered by Gita is different. Not only does it provide happiness here, but also showers us with Amrita of Advaita, non-duality. Here the word Amrita is used in the sense of that which gives you immortality. Here the knowledge frees you from mortality in the form of life and death. That is the immortality. Immortality not in the physical sense. Immortality is you are indestructible. Atma iti, the jnanam. Jnanena eva mokshaha. Jnanena eva mokshaha, the kaivalyam. The kaivalyam is knowing that I am free. I am not destructible. That is moksha. That is immortality. Therefore, knowledge. In non-duality, there is no second thing. Therefore, with this knowledge, all fear is eliminated. Advaitam. The word itself, Advaitam. Dvaitam, na Dvaitam, Advaitam. Where there is Dvaitam, there is a fear of second thing. Dvaitadhi bhayam bhavati. Whereas in Advaitam, there is no second thing. Therefore, fear is not there, bhayam is not there. Second thing is not there. What is that? I am, I alone is. Therefore, there is no fear. When I alone is, then I am the truth, I am the Satyam, I am not subject to death or birth. That is called Amrita, immortality. Only in duality there can be fear. Fear cannot exist in non-duality because there is no second thing to fear. Therefore, Amrita, Advaita Amrita Varshini, the nectar of non-duality. That you are everything, that there is nothing other than you, is not an ordinary subject matter. This is what is meant by non-duality. Non-duality means that you are the whole. That which gives you this vision is the nectar of non-duality. Nectar is used here because just as nectar is something to be tasted, to be experienced, non-duality is something to be understood, to be yourself. So it is to be understood. The goddess Gita showers the nectar of non-duality upon you. This shower of nectar is a vision of non-duality. It is the message of the Lord. The Gita is Bhagavati, the goddess, and therefore not separate from Bhagavan's vision. She knows that Krishna is Ishvara, the Lord, and along with him she blesses you because she gives you this knowledge. The 18 chapters of the Gita. In this verse, the Gita is addressed as a one who has 18 chapters. It is said, O Gita, the one with the 18 chapters, I salute you. Gita as a destroyer of sorrow. The nectar of non-duality destroys the bhava, the samsara, completely. Bhava meaning samsara. That is why that bhava is from the dhatu bhu. The life of becoming. Swamiji translates it as life of becoming. Bhava means a life of becoming, with all of its problems and fears, a life of sorrow, bondage, birth, and death. This teaching is therefore the medicine for samsara. If samsara is a malady, then what is the remedy? Knowledge is the remedy. Now, what knowledge? Advaita Jnanam. And it is covered by Gita. Therefore, this teaching is therefore the medicine for samsara, that by which the whole samsara is destroyed. The destroyer of samsara and the nectar of non-duality go together and refer to Gita as a mother who destroys the samsara by showering the nectar of non-duality. The first verse, then we salute the Mother Gita by meditating upon her, by invoking her before we start our study. Also, we cannot think about the Gita without thinking about Vyasa, Krishna, and Arjuna called Partha in this verse. The second verse, therefore, is addressed to Vyasacharya that we will see in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Dhanyavadaha